Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel. I am you by Dr. Shazia Nasir. Today we are going to discuss inclusive education in Pakistan, what works and what doesn't. Now, inclusive education is often discussed in policies and seminars. But what actually happens inside our Pakistani classrooms and what simply looks good on paper? After years of teaching, research, and working with students with learning difficulties, here's my honest take. Now, first of all, let's see what actually works in Pakistan when it is done in the right way. Number one, and the most important, is teacher commitment. What truly makes the difference is not a policy, but teachers who are willing to adapt, modifying lessons, adjusting expectations, and being patient with diverse learners. Being patient, I think, for me is the most important part of teaching students with learning disabilities. Now, s- if we work, small changes can be done in classroom, and those small changes can have a huge impact on the learnings of these students with learning difficulties. For example, we can have simplified instructions, peer support, extra time given in exams. All these things I have been discussing in my previous lectures, and I discuss it again and again just to reinforce and just to make the teachers in our community realize that these small changes can bring about a huge difference in our classrooms, in the confidence level of our students. Just giving these, just making these modifying, informal classroom adjustments. So these small adjustments, they don't require any budgets. They are just going to create awareness. So and the second important thing, a third is parental involvement. This is very important. When parents are informed and involved, progress is visible. Now, being a teacher, I can very well relate and understand the difficulties teachers face as parents they are in a denial, first of all, when they are being told that your son or daughter needs to be diagnosed, or the teachers feel some kind of difference in their learning abilities, and the parents, they are taken aback and they're in a denial. But with the reinforcement, you have to be patient with the parents as well, but they need to be informed. And when the parents get involved and informed, progress is visible. Collaboration between home and school is one of the strongest success factors. Then let's talk about what doesn't work, the real challenges, what doesn't work. Policy without practice. Now, inclusive education exists in documents, but implementation is inconsistent. Many schools adopt the language of inclusion without the structure to support it. They talk about inclusion, but they don't have a structure. They don't implement it. They only just talk about what inclusion is. And on the surface, it would seem that, oh, these schools are they're so good in creative inclusive environment. But I unfortunately, the real story is different. So number two is, what I have felt over these years is the lack of teacher training. Most teachers want to help, but they were never trained to identify, to support learning differences. Expecting inclusion without preparation is unrealistic. So we expect that we are just letting the teachers know that, okay, you have three or four students, diverse students in your class having certain specific learning disability. How can a teacher can teach that student unless the teacher is trained herself? So teacher training is the most important part of inclusive education. Now, learning difficulties are still misunderstood. They are often labeled as careless and lazy, weak, they are considered weak, which harms students' confidence and growth. What needs to change? Number one, practical ongoing teacher training, school based support systems, not just special units, awareness that inclusion is about equity, not lowering standards. This is very important because I've experienced myself that when I started in one of the institutions to talk about inclusivity and to talk about having a different exam paper for the students, I was being, many of my colleagues, they started making fun of me that I'm talking about higher education, I'm talking about students above 18 plus, and I was made, many colleagues made fun of me that why are you doing this? Just give them ABC, they can write that. So it's not about that. So awareness is that sorry awareness that inclusion is about equity, not lowering standards. So inclusive education in Pakistan is possible, but only when we move beyond slogans and focus on classroom realities. Inclusion is not a favor, it's a responsibility. If you are a teacher, parent, or policymaker, your role matters more than you think. Please, if you want to comment, I would encourage people to comment, and because in that way I will be learning from you as well, and your suggestions. I will be adding your suggestions in my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.